Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk about 7 expensive beauty treatments that I've gotten in the past and that I regret. The first one is an acid chemical peel treatment. I got this at a dermatologist's office. The lesson I learned is that just because you're getting a treatment at a dermatologist's office versus a med spa, it doesn't necessarily mean that the dermatologist knows what they're doing, or it doesn't necessarily mean that they have your best interest at heart. So I got an acid chemical peel, and the main reason I got it was to even out my skin tone. After my first pregnancy, my skin has never been the same. I went from having pretty even skin tone throughout my life to having uneven skin tone after my son was born. So I went to the dermatologist to see what they could do for me, and she suggested an acid chemical peel treatment. I let her know that I had an important meeting coming up the following week and that I would need to look good for that meeting. She said, no problem, it should heal way sooner than that. So I decided to move forward with the acid chemical peel on my face. My face was red and peeling for weeks, and I was livid that the dermatologist had actually lied about the time that it would take for the healing process to be completed. It was embarrassing because I couldn't cover my face with makeup. My skin was peeling, it was extremely sensitive, and it just looked really bad. I saw a friend during that time that my skin was peeling. As I was apologizing to her about how bad my face looked, she said she knew exactly what I had gotten and that I didn't need it because the acid chemical peel that I had gotten is for people who have really bad acne scarring, and I was just not in that category. After my skin healed from the acid chemical peel treatment, my skin was just as bad, if not worse, than what I had started with. So I definitely regret getting that acid treatment. Instead, the better option for uneven skin tone is to use a facial cream with the ingredient called tranexamic acid, or TXA. This is the most effective ingredient for uneven skin tone. There's different products with TXA. The one with the most highly concentrated amount of TXA that I know of is called Chantasai. This is a daytime cream. I really love it, and you could use it daily on your face. The next treatment I regret is Underarm Lightening treatment. I actually have a lot of trauma from receiving this treatment. I went to a place in San Francisco called Recharge Med Spa. Do not go there. They do not know what they are doing at this facility. It's not a good place to go for anything. I went in and asked for underarm lightening treatment. The guy that did my treatment was this guy named Danny. He started by putting hand sanitizer on my underarm area to clean it, which I found odd. Rather than cleaning the area with soap and water, he used alcohol or hand sanitizer. So then he placed the acid cream on my underarm area and then stormed out of the room, which was really bizarre. He didn't say that he would be back soon. He didn't say anything. He just left, and I thought, how odd. Then while I was in the room by myself, my underarm started burning, and it was so horribly painful that I almost stormed out of the room like a crazy person, half naked. And honestly, I actually should have done that. When he finally came back, probably about 10 minutes later, I told him, get this off of me, it burns really bad. And he just said, yeah, it does, and now you know why we have you sign the waiver. I couldn't sleep that night after the treatment. My skin turned purple, and it's been 8 years since the treatment, and I still feel pain occasionally at night in my underarm area, and it's still really bad. I avoid wearing tank tops because of how bad it looks. I was better off before the treatment. This place really scarred me for life. I cry sometimes when I think about it. If you are thinking about getting underarm lightening treatment, just don't do it. Instead, just exfoliate the area to get rid of any residue or buildup from deodorant. The next treatment that I regret getting is a cellulite removal treatment at Laser Away. This was actually a while ago. I had expressed interest in the cellulite treatment, and they told me it was something absurd like $3,000. And I said, no, that's way too much money. I don't want to spend that much money. I got a phone call from Laser Away later that night, and they said, guess what? There's actually a sale on the cellulite treatment that you were interested in. It's now 50% off, so it's only $1,500, which is still a lot of money, but I was really interested in it. My boyfriend at the time said to me, that sounds kind of like a scam. It's all of a sudden on sale. If you're ever at the Westgate Mall in downtown San Francisco, they do this kind of thing at the kiosks. They have, like for instance, a teeth whitening treatment, and they'll say, only for today, it's 50% off. So if you come back tomorrow, the sale will be over and you'll have to pay full price. It's just a tactic that they use to get you to buy their garbage. So first of all, laser away is an interesting business. I spoke with someone that worked there for a number of years, and she actually said that the way they operate is kind of scary. They operate under a licensed doctor who has never even stepped foot into a laser away facility. So if something happens or something goes wrong with the treatment, the doctor is likely unavailable in the time frame needed to deal with the issue. So I got the expensive cellulite treatment, and this did nothing. It really just did absolutely nothing. The girl that did the treatment at Laser Away basically said that the treatment would be most effective if I exercise. Okay, so then what's the point of doing this? I didn't have to pay $1,500 to be told to work out in order for my cellulite to go away. It was a complete waste of money. And I really don't think there is any treatment out there aside from exercise that will help reduce cellulite. In fact, if you want to reduce your cellulite, the best way to do it is grab some weights and do squats and clean up your diet. This is what is most effective. The next treatment I regret is teeth whitening treatment. I used to use Crest whitening strips all the time. It wasn't until I went to a dentist who said to me that these teeth whitening strips on the market will eventually make your teeth yellow because they strip away the protective enamel layer on your teeth. So they are counterproductive and will do more harm than good in the long run. Instead, you want to protect your teeth by avoiding drinking coffee, black tea, and soda, and instead drink lots of water. Also, after you drink acidic drinks like orange juice or lemonade, wait at least 1 hour until you brush your teeth. If you feel the need to brush your teeth after you drink these types of juices, just drink water in the meantime to wash out your mouth. The next treatment that I regret is tanning at a tanning salon. It really matters who you go to. I used to go many years ago to the tanning salon. I went in one time in particular and I came out orange. It was just so awful. I kept trying to scrub my skin so that I could get rid of the artificial tan. I had somewhere important that I had to go to for work, and I just remember having to face the other people that I was with and admitted that I went someplace that made me really orange. And I just had to laugh at myself after about the whole experience. I don't do self-tanning anymore. I just don't feel like it's as popular as it used to be. If you are interested in self-tanning, there are some gradual self-tanners that are not as intense as others that I would recommend. I'll put that in the description box below. The next treatment that I regret is Botox. I've gotten this several times before. I think Botox is an okay treatment to get as long as you go to someone who knows what they're doing. So I went to a med spa once and they said, we're having a sale on Botox. Do you want to get it? And I said, okay. So they did the Botox, and soon after my forehead ended up getting droopy. I guess the person was practicing on me or just didn't really know what she was doing, because unfortunately it made me look like I was angry all the time. They even got the Botox in my eye, and when I said something, they said, oh, don't worry, it can get in your eye. It's not that big of a deal. I also remember my boyfriend at the time said to me a few weeks after the Botox, why are you always in such a bad mood? And I was just looking at him and I would say, what are you talking about? Fortunately, it was not permanent and the droopiness eventually went away. But just make sure you go to someone who knows what they are doing when it comes to Botox. The next treatment that I regret is laser hair removal. It's not that I regret the actual treatment so much as I regret having spent thousands of dollars on this treatment. I have gotten it on my upper lip, my underarm, my bikini area, and my legs. You have to go in so many times in order for the hair removal to be effective. So you start by shaving the area a couple days before. You want to make sure there is still a tiny bit of hair follicle that can be zapped. Otherwise, you're getting the treatment for nothing. Then you come back 4 to 6 weeks later, and the idea is eventually you won't need it anymore because you're catching it at the right time since the hair grows in cycles. One thing I noticed is that with every treatment, your hair looks different. Laser hair removal definitely changes the texture of the hair that's growing back over time. It's just so much thinner and lighter. So when I was getting the treatment, I remember thinking, I wish I could just do this at home. It would be so much more convenient rather than having to go down to downtown San Francisco every 4 to 6 weeks and paying an arm and a leg for the actual treatment. I also had an experience at Laser Away. I bought a package deal, and when I purchased it, they said, oh, don't worry, you can always transfer it to another part of the body. This package of 10 doesn't have to go all towards one body part. And in the middle of me using the package deal, they told me that I could not transfer it to another body part. Nothing was in writing, so they definitely do everything that they can to sell you something, and then they go back on their word after you've paid, unfortunately. But anyway, now you can do this in the comfort of your own home because there's an at-home hair removal treatment called Kenzie. I will say that it does take discipline, so just make sure you dedicate 1 day a week to using this in order to see any results. But it is definitely a lot less expensive and very convenient. So those are my 7 treatments that I regret. I hope you learned from my experience. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.